Hello students, people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the last lecture we have started with the derived quantities. We have started finding dimensional formula for derived quantities. So we'll continue with the same. So we have seen for speed, velocity, acceleration, force, work, energy. So in today's lecture we'll see few more dimensional formulas for derived quantities and few applications also, if time permits. So after energy, let us see linear momentum. Linear momentum is represented by P. And the formula for linear momentum is basically mass into velocity. Or in short, we write it as P equal to mv, where m is mass and v is velocity. So for finding the dimensional formula, we'll equate the dimensions. So the dimension of the momentum P will be same as the dimension of mass into velocity. So the dimensional formula for mass is capital M. It's a basic quantity. And for V we have LT minus 1. So from here you can see that the dimensional formula for linear momentum, we get it as MLT minus 1. Okay. Now we'll see the next physical quantity, that is area. So for finding the dimensional formula for area, you can think of any area formula that you know. Okay. So we know that area of a rectangle is length into breadth, so we can use that formula. So the dimensional formula for area will be same as the dimensional formula for length into breadth. So you can see both length and breadth are basically length itself. So I'll get L into L. That becomes L square. Fine. So in standard form, we represent any dimensional formula in terms of at least mass, length and time. So we can write it as m to the power 0, L square and t to the power 0. Okay. Same way we can also find the dimensional formula from any other area formula that we know. For example, area is area of a circle. If we take, area of a circle is pi r square. Okay. So the dimensional formula for area will be same as that of pi r square. Now the thing is that pi is a mathematical constant. Okay. So pi will not have any dimension, so that we can ignore. And radius is nothing but length. So for radius we'll get a length square. So the dimensional formula for area becomes L square, or again in standard form we can write it as m0 L square T0. This is what we have here. After area, let us see the next physical quantity, and that we can take it as volume. Volume formula is, again you can think of any volume formula and you can do it. If we take for example volume of a cuboid, then volume becomes length into breadth into height. Okay. So for finding the dimensional formula, we'll take the dimensions on both sides. So the dimensional formula for volume will be, for length, breadth and height, all three are L only. So I'll get L cube. So I'll get m0 L cube and T0. Okay, this becomes the dimensional formula for volume. Next physical quantity we can see density. So density formula is mass by volume. So the dimensional formula for density will be same as that of mass by volume. So mass is a base quantity. For this we'll get capital M, and for volume we have L cube that we already derived. So now upon simplification this becomes m L to the power minus 3. Okay. Or in standard form we can write the dimensional formula for density as m L to the power minus 3 T to the power 0. Okay. Next physical quantity, let us see pressure. Pressure formula is force per unit area, or force by area. Fine. So the dimensional formula will also be of pressure will be same as that of force by area. Force dimensional formula is, we have already derived earlier, so that is mlt minus 2. So if we know the dimensional formula for anything, we can use it directly, divided by dimensional formula for area, that is L square. So this will become upon simplification m L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 2. So this is, all the terms are already there, so it is already in the standard form. So the dimensional formula for pressure is m L minus 1 t minus 2. Fine. Next we'll see relative density. Relative density is basically ratio of density of two bodies. So relative density is basically density of body 1 by density of body 2. Fine. So we can take the ratios. The dimensional formula for relative density will be so density of any body, we have already seen the formula, m L to the power minus 3 divided by m L to the power minus 3. So these will get cancelled. So when they get cancelled, we get a dimensionless quantity. Okay. So this becomes m to the power 0, L to the power 0, t to the power 0. So relative density is actually a dimensionless quantity. Okay. Next we'll see time period. So time period is basically time itself. So the dimensional formula for time period will be same as that of time. So in standard form we can write it as n to the power 0 L to the power 0 t. Okay. Next let us see frequency. Frequency formula, we know frequency is 1 by time period. So the dimensional formula for frequency will be same as the dimensional formula for 1 by time period. So 1 by time period is nothing but time itself, means 1 by time. So it becomes 1 by t, or we can write it as t inverse. So in standard form the dimensional formula for frequency becomes you can write it as m to the power 0 L to the power 0 t to the power minus 1. Next physical quantity, let us see charge. Charge that we represent by q. So see, the charge has not been taken as fundamental quantity. We have taken current, electric current, as fundamental quantity, because measuring charge directly is slightly difficult, but we have a very simple device for measuring electric current, that is a meter. So that is why the electric current has been taken as the fundamental quantity, not charge. So we have to write charge in terms of electric current. So electric current is basically the amount of charge flowing through a cross section per unit time. So we have a formula for this. Electric current formula is charge by time. So from here we will get the expression for charge, and then we'll write the dimensional formula for electric current. So charge will become electric current into time. So the dimensional formula also we can write accordingly. Dimensional formula for electric current is A, and dimensional formula for time is T. Okay. So the dimensional formula for charge, in the short form we can say A into T, or in the standard form if we want to represent, then it becomes m to the power 0 L to the power 0 T into A. Fine. Now the next physical quantity, let us see electrostatic potential. So electrostatic potential is represented by capital V. So electrostatic potential is basically work done per unit charge. So in this case, or I should write it in bigger form. So you must have studied in 10th standard that electrostatic potential at any point is the work done in bringing a unit charge from infinity to the point in consideration, or you can say work done per unit charge. So electrostatic potential is equal to work done per unit charge, or in short we can write it as V equal to W by Q. So here we can write dimensional formula for V as, so dimensional formula for V will be same as dimensional formula for W by Q. So dimensional formula for V becomes, so for work we have already derived earlier, it is having same dimensional formula as that of energy. So we get ml squared T minus 2 divided by, for charge we have A into T. Okay. So now you have to simplify this expression. Upon simplification we'll get dimensional formula for electrostatic potential as m L square T to the power minus 3 A to the power minus 1. Okay. Next let us see resistance, or you can say electric resistance. Okay. So whenever you need to find a dimensional formula for any physical quantity, then you think of, if you know the formula for the particular physical quantity directly, you can use the formula, or otherwise think that in which formula this particular physical quantity comes, and from there you can get an expression and you can write the dimensional formula. Yes or no? So in 10th standard you must have studied Ohm's law. Ohm's law gives a relation between potential difference, current and resistance. Yes or no? So from Ohm's law we get V equal to IR. So from this expression we can write I as V by R. where I is the current, R is the resistance. So we need R. Sorry, I made a mistake here. So R will be equal to V by I. So the dimensional formula for resistance will be same as the dimensional formula for V by I, where V is the electrostatic potential and I is the current. So for electrostatic potential we have already found, that is ml square t to the power minus 3 a to the power minus 1 divided by, for I we have I, current is a fundamental quantity and the dimensional formula is A. So upon simplification it becomes m L square t to the power minus 3 a to the power minus 2. Okay. So the dimensional formula for electrical resistance is m L square t to the power minus 3 a to the power minus 2. Okay. So there are many physical quantities, yes, that we should know about. Let us see for torque. So the torque formula is, torque is represented by tau, the symbol. Torque is force into perpendicular distance. Or we can write it as tau as F into R perpendicular. So the dimensional formula for torque will be same as that of force into perpendicular distance. The dimensional formula for force is ml t minus 2 and perpendicular distance is L. So upon simplification we'll get dimensional formula for torque as m L square t minus 2. Right. So let us move on to the next physical quantity, that is plane angle. So plane angle is generally represented by theta, and the SI unit for angle is radian. Okay. So we have two popular units, one is degree and another one is radian. So SI unit for angle is radian. Okay. So actually plane angle has a formula. So if you take a circle, fine. If there is any arc which is making some angle theta at the center, okay, and let r be the radius of this circle, then this arc length, so we have a formula for this arc length. So arc length is equal to radius into angle in radian. Okay. So we can write arc length L equal to r into theta. Right. This is the formula that we have. Now if we'll see the angle in radian, or basically angle becomes theta becomes L by r. So it is the ratio of arc length and radius. Okay. So if you try to write the dimensional formula for theta, it will be same as the dimensional formula for length by radius. Now the dimensional formula for length will be L and for radius will also be L, because both are basically length itself. So the angle comes out to be a dimensionless quantity. So you can see L and L will get cancelled. So we can write it as m to the power 0, L to the power 0, T to the power 0. It will come out as 1 only. So we need to understand that the dimensional formula for angle is nothing, means it's a dimensionless quantity. Okay. So here one thing we can observe, that angle is a dimensionless quantity, but it has a unit. Unit is radian or degree. Okay. So you have to understand one statement, that a dimensionless quantity may have unit. Okay. A dimensionless quantity may have unit, but a unitless quantity is always dimensionless. So this point you should keep in mind, that a dimensionless quantity may have unit, but a unitless quantity is always dimensionless. So the next physical quantity, let us see angular velocity. Represented by omega. So the angular velocity formula is theta by t, angular displacement by time taken. So from here the dimensional formula for angular velocity will be same as dimensional formula for theta by t. Now theta is angle, and we know that angles are dimensionless. So we'll get m to the power 0, L to the power 0, t to the power 0 divided by t. So in standard form, the dimensional formula for angular velocity becomes m to the power 0, L to the power 0, t to the power minus 1. Okay. Next physical quantity we can see angular acceleration. Angular acceleration is represented by alpha. So angular acceleration is basically rate of change of angular velocity, or you can write it as angular velocity by time. So the dimensional formula for angular acceleration will be same as that of angular velocity by time. So just now we derived omega, the angular velocity is a dimensionless quantity. So that can be written as m to the power 0, L to the power 0, t to the power minus 1 divided by t. So finally we can write dimensional formula for angular velocity as m to the power 0, L to the power 0, t to the power minus 2. Okay. Next let us see trigonometric ratios, the different trigonometric ratios that we have. So if you take a right angle triangle, if this angle is theta, then this will be the perpendicular, this will be the base, this is the 90° here, and this will be the hypotenuse. So the different trigonometric ratios that we have, like sine theta. Sine theta is P by H. Cos theta is B by H, and tan theta is P by B. So if you'll find dimensional formula for any one of them, suppose if I find dimensional formula for sine theta, so you can see it is the ratio of the length of the perpendicular side and length of the hypotenuse side. So both are having the dimensions L. So which is basically a dimensionless quantity. So the dimensional formula for sine theta will become m to the power 0, L to the power 0, T to the power 0. Similarly, the dimensional formulas for sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, everything will come out to be dimensionless. Okay. So all the trigonometric ratios, that is sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, or other trigonometric ratios as well, all are dimensionless quantities. Okay. Next, let us see universal gravitation constant. So we do not have any direct formula for universal gravitation constant. So when we don't have any direct formula for any physical quantity, we need to think that in which formula or in which expression that particular physical quantity comes. So universal gravitation constant, or universal gravitation constant, which is represented by capital G, comes in the formula for gravitation force. So the gravitation force between two masses m1 and m2 is equal to capital G m1 m2 by r square. So from here we can get an expression for capital G. So capital G will become Fr square by m1 m2. Now for finding the dimensional formula, the dimensional formula for capital G will be same as the dimensional formula for Fr square by m1 m2. So this formula, let us understand this formula a bit. So the gravitational force between two point masses m1 and m2 separated by a distance r is given by this formula. Here capital G is the universal gravitation constant. So now we can put the dimensions of these physical quantities. The dimensional formula for force is m L t minus 2. R is distance, so R square will become L square. M1, M2 are masses, so M into M will get M square. So if we simplify this, we'll get M to the power minus 1 L cube t to the power minus 2. So the dimensional formula for universal gravitation constant is M to the power minus 1 L cube t to the power minus 2. Okay. Now similarly, we can find a dimensional formula for another physical quantity called Coulomb's constant. Okay. Coulomb's constant comes in electrostatic force formula that you will be studying in 12th standard. So we have something called Coulomb's law. From there we can find Coulomb's constant is represented by K. Okay. So the force between 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 separated by a distance r is given by this formula. So here this K that is there, that is actually our Coulomb's constant. So we can simplify the expression, sorry, here r square will come, and the Coulomb's constant becomes Fr square by Q1 Q2. Okay. So in a similar way, the dimensional formula for Coulomb's constant will be same as that of Fr square by Q1 Q2. So we can write the dimensional formula for these different quantities and we can simplify. So for force we have M L t minus 2. R is the separation, for that we have L square. For charge we have A into T. So into A into T will get. So this becomes M L cube T minus 2 divided by A square T square, which upon further simplification becomes M L cube T to the power minus 4 A to the power minus 2. Okay. So the dimensional formula for Coulomb's constant can be written as M L cube T to the power minus 4 A to the power minus 2. Okay, so this becomes the dimensional formula for Coulomb's constant. So similarly, for any physical quantity, you can either, if you have the direct formula, then you can write the direct formula and then find the dimension, or otherwise you think of a formula or an expression in which that particular physical quantity comes, and from there you get an expression for the physical quantity, and then you can find its dimensional formula. Okay. Okay students, so this is it for this class. We will try to cover few more physical quantities in the next class. We'll try to find the dimensional formula for few more physical quantities, and then we'll go for dimensional analysis and its application. Okay. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So you can watch this video on at high speed if you find it slow. Okay. So keep watching, keep learning. Thank you very much. Bye bye.